I know we have two people that are here with us. Liz, I don't know if you're frozen. I just see your picture. If you're in and you're joining with video, can you hear me, Liz?
Hi, I'm sorry. How are you?
Okay. Hi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Though, but I'm happy I can hear you now.
Yes. I don't have my camera on because we're actually in the car moving and about. So,
oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
That's fine. That's okay. And I see Erica's with us. She'll be joining with audio. I think she's moving around too. Just give it 1 or 2 more minutes. Actually, let's just get started because I don't want to delay. So thank you for joining the Cocktails and Convo Sister Circle. And I am joined, cheers to you. I am joined by Ms. Michele and Ms. Felicia. And they will do an introduction, but first I'd like to lead us with what I usually do, which is very ritualistic of me. I usually sage, and after I sage, we're gonna do a quick visualization, breathing technique, and prayer, or the reverse. So I'm just gonna sage real quick. You can laugh at me if you want to, but
yes, girl.
Sage works. It works for me. Sending you guys all this magnificent.
I love that sage. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'd like for us to just close our eyes and picture a big bright ball of light. And that big bright ball of light, as we breathe in, we're going to picture it coming into us and filling us with love and peace and joy. So with each breath, we'll get more peaceful and more relaxed. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just one more. Picture that big, beautiful, bright light just filling you up with all the love and all the joy that you need right now. I'd like to ask the universe to guide us as we facilitate this sister circle and allow for all of our participants to feel a sense of joy and a sense of contentment that they decided to join us today. So without any further delay, I would like to start with Miss Felicia.
Hello, everybody. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
I pregame, so I'm extra aware and excited to be here. Super excited. So yeah, my name is Felicia. I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I want to give y'all the vibe, the nice Florida sun and everything.
Thank you.
I own my own business, Lashin' and Fashion, and I'm also a licensed esthetician, and I also do work in healthcare. So I am a vegetarian, and I'll tell you that journey, I guess, during this conversation. And yeah, what you want me to spit out right now?
That's good. That's good. I'd like for Michele to also introduce herself. Michele, please do the honors.
Hey ladies, I'm Michele, originally from New York, but now I'm in the Tampa area, so I'm also enjoying the Florida sun. Right now, by day, I work in a mortgage brokerage, and by night, like I'm working on becoming a manifesting queen. So I'm taking this time, actually, with COVID and everything, to manifest my best life.
I love it. Thank you, Michele. And I'm happy that you said that, because then we could segue into the purpose of this. So I became introduced to the law of attraction, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. really, to just put it simple, or in simple terms, the law of attraction is pretty much the premise that you are able to attract things based off of the way you think, the way you speak, and the way that you visualize. Um, I don't want to go too deep into that because it's a very in-depth topic, but what that did for me was it introduced me to a whole world, a spiritual world that I had not known existed because I grew up Catholic. I know that, okay, no, I'll leave that for another conversation. So with that being said, what comes with spirituality is a lot of things. And this is where I'm going to turn it over to Felicia. What comes with spirituality is that you start to learn that the way that you eat, the way you speak, the way you think does in fact determine the type of life that you live. I know a lot of us don't realize that we are, to a great majority, behind the driving seat, that we are in fact co-creators. I think that's something that is withheld from us, especially people in the Black community, to strip us of our power. You know, the less you know, the better, because then you could just be like this robotic thing that they just input data and you just go along with it. Like, you know, you have to live this very conventional life where you clock in at 9, clock out at 6 or 5 o'clock, and really just live with very limited means. But with spirituality, it opens you up to knowing that maybe abundance can be yours. But that starts with how you eat. Little do we know that our gut houses so many things that trigger the way that we think. So when you feel sluggish, you might have like some gut health issues. If you're feeling a little sad, there might be something there. Again, with gut health issues, you know, you should follow a certain guideline, but that guideline comes with caring, seeing a dietitian, finding out what foods you're allergic to, all these types of things. But at the very basic level, if you were to just be a vegetarian, or just plug in vegetarian isms into your life, even if it's not 24/7, I am a vegetarian. Like what I do is I tend to just go with what my soul wants. If it's vegan for 2 days, vegan it is. If it's vegetarian for a week, vegetarian it is. But I find the need to do that to kind of keep my gut health balanced. So Felicia, I'm going to turn it over to you because with your vegetarian journey, I know a lot of things have changed within you. And I would like for you to kind of expand on that. Thank you.
Okay. So I tell a lot of people I didn't choose it, it chose me. Last summer, one of my friends and I were eating Thai food. It was chicken pad Thai. And during the week, we had like jerk chicken and stuff like that. I'm Trinidadian, so I love me my West Indian food. And I was just like, you know what, girl, this is it. Like, I'm over meat. I'm done. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's not working for me. And then that became to me just giving up the other part of meat, which is fish, like shrimp and lobster and everything else like that. And I feel a total difference when it comes to the way my stomach feels, even when it comes to, you know, the time of the month. The menstrual is a lot easier to deal with. And even just my skin, my energy, everything just feels a lot different. And you could be an unhealthy vegan or vegetarian. You could eat a lot of things that you shouldn't be eating, like soy, stuff to you. So yeah, I start reading labels more. I'm more of a label reader, so I would see like what's in there, because some things it wouldn't necessarily be non-vegan per se. Like if I'm looking for something vegan sometimes or vegetarian, there's a label in the back. Like in the back, it'll tell you made in a warehouse or whatever, made somewhere that might contain eggs and so forth. So it's just, I look at the labels more often. And people think that cooking vegetarian or vegan is expensive. It's not. When you start buying like the Beyond Meats and Impossibles and trying to get those type of things just to not really feel like you're missing meat, that's when it gets pricey. Pinterest, I must tell you guys, is an amazing place. I'm not getting paid by them. However, they're great when it comes to recipes, like go on Pinterest. I found so many recipes on there. If it's a vegan coconut curry Thai cauliflower, that was actually amazing. And I've had people who don't eat meat eat it, and it's amazing. So yeah, the journey has been great, and I see the difference just with everything, just the way my body feels. Even like when I do work out, it just feels a lot lighter, like just like my body is responding to it very well, I should say. And even when I eat something, say, because I'm a lover of cheese, that's why I say I'm a vegetarian, because I'm not a vegan yet. If I give up the cheese, then I definitely would be a vegan. But if Don made some mac and cheese, I'm eating it. Okay, so I will deal with the repercussions later, because there will be repercussions to be had. But it's different. I feel different with everything. Just even my energy. I've gotten into staging more, meditating more with my crystals, my obsidians, my everything. Like just being more one with myself, like with your body. And I'm not saying if you eat meat, you can't be one with your body. It's just my journey. I just became more aware of my surroundings, my energies, and everything. Like, it's been a great path, I must say.
Was it hard for you to transition, being that you grew up Trinidadian and eat meat and all that?
It wasn't hard, only because it chose me. Like, if I forced not eating meat, I would have went back. And I say that because when I had fibroids and the doctor was telling me about surgeries and stuff, I stopped eating meat because for that reason. But I ended up going back eating chicken and turkey. I didn't eat pork or anything or beef or anything like that. It was mainly chicken, turkey. I still ate seafood. This time it was a different outlook. So now I'm just like, I'll see it. Like, I'll see curry chicken or I'll see fried chicken. I'm like, oh, it smells good. Like, I still appreciate the smell. I'm like, oh, this smells amazing. However, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm missing out. No, you can eat chicken in front of me. I'm perfectly fine. Like, I'm okay. Like, I was the biggest seafood eater on the planet, and I am okay with not eating it. Like,
so you don't even do seafood at all?
No.
So that's why you said if you do mac and cheese, you would. If you don't do cheese, you would be a vegan.
I would, because everything else is the only thing is this mac and cheese. I have a
cheese is that one.
Wow.
To my heart. I don't know when I'm going to give that up.
Adjusted with it.
I give you a lot of credit.
My mother was shocked how my family adjusted to it. You said, right?
Mm.
My mother was super shocked because that day I gave up seafood. I was like, yeah, I'm over this. She made this big pot of curry shrimp, and she know I love shrimp and I love curry. And when I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm good. She looked at me. She's like, yo, your mom, you all right? I said, nah, I'm good. I'm on a different path right now, and it's not calling for that. She said, all right, so get more for me then. Enjoy your path then. I ain't on that path. I was like, all right, ain't for everybody.
I love how you said that it chose you. I love that.
It did.
That's very important because when you force things prematurely, your spirit rejects it. And that's why I really, I tapped you to do this, because I feel like your decision was a spiritual decision. Whether you were consciously making it as a spiritual decision, but it was your soul that told you, hey, this is what we're doing now, because your body was communicating something and it needed that. You know what I mean? Like, your soul was communicating that. And I'm sure, prior to that, you had already started meditating, right?
I did. I started meditating heavily with my crystals, my sage.
Yeah.
That became a whole other journey. I went abstinent before I stopped eating meat. I didn't want to just be in any useless anything that wasn't nurturing me. So I made that choice just to stop dealing with guys in general, and I just focused on myself. So during that time, I went through that, and all that played into play. So yeah.
I love that. We're gonna get back to you. I want to give Michele a chance. With the law of attraction comes that whole aspect of manifestation. I recently moved back to my old childhood apartment and came across, because I like to write, came across little journals of mine from like 2008, 2007, where I had written certain things that in fact manifested. Like I'm living them right now.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah. Which is crazy because I wasn't necessarily looking for those journals. I was looking for something else. And then I opened it up and like literally I'm looking at pages and pages of my writing saying that this is what I want and this is this and this is that. And God, I know you're going to give it to me. And I'm actually living those things right now.
Wow. That's deep.
But this is the thing. We're all living those things right now. Whether consciously or unconsciously, we have all contributed to our present reality.
So
And
true.
Michele is very aware of that. And I'd like for her to give us, I would like for her to give us her deep and spiritual meaning behind what manifestation stands for her.
For me, okay, so let me give you a little backstory on me. I'm the overthinker. I grew up in a Haitian household, so it wasn't like it was a negative household, but it was always like, well, be careful because this may happen, or be careful because that may happen. So this was my mindset for forever until I got into the law of attraction. And when I started getting into the law of attraction, that's when I understood like all of that, be careful, you know, if you do this or if you do that, was just putting stuff inside of me and making it manifest. And that's not what I wanted. So for me, manifestation is getting back in touch with myself, off those, you know, messages from my childhood, from my family, to say, well, what if this and what if that, and thinking the negative side and going to the positive side. And I still have like moments of like I'm on the fence. Like actually the other day I'm trying to manifest pregnancy. So the other day I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just adopt. Like it's not happening. And then I sat in that sulking mood for like the day. And then I'm like, the next day I was like, you know what, girl, like you need to snap out of it. Like it can happen. Like and I had to have a conversation with myself to understand that kind of like what you were saying, what I put out is what's going to come back. So if I'm putting that energy out, then it's never going to happen. And that could be why it hasn't happened all this time, because I've been teetering on the fence. Maybe it will and maybe it won't and maybe and whatever. I'm too old, I'm too this and whatever. So now I'm like shutting all of that down. And now I'm like, this is what I want. So this is what I'm focusing on. I'm going to shut everybody out. I don't want to hear anybody else. I don't want to hear anybody's noise. I barely even want to hear my noise. I have times that my noise is louder than everybody else's.
Yeah.
So this is, to me, it's like, let me recenter myself. Like I've committed myself now to doing some yoga. I need to get back into my meditation. I need to get back into my bubble. Because I left my bubble and I went somewhere else. And I need to come back to my bubble. So
how was this introduced to you? This
I don't even know. Like it's been years because I've been on this law of attraction path for like a good 10 plus years. Like, cause that's even how I manifested my husband. Not even realizing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not even realizing that, you know.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you manifested your husband?
Yeah, I was like right there. I'm like, tell us that, please, ma'am.
We want that tea.
What happened was, you know, I was dating, you know, I wanted it to lead to something else. And, you know, most of the times it didn't, because half of the time I was involved in, to be honest, I was involved in shitty relationships. Part of it because of, I picked these guys. And I picked guys that were emotionally unavailable because that's what my father was. So that's what I wanted. But I read this book, like, probably back in like the 2000s or so, or maybe like early 2000s or maybe late 2000s. And the book was like, you have to write down what you want in your mate. So what I did is, like, all the bad guys that I had dated, I kind of flipped it and I was like, okay, well, like I had somebody cheat on me, so I wanted somebody who's faithful. I want somebody who's family oriented. I want somebody who, you know, who worked and understood that, you know, you can't be loafing off of me, because I've had that. I wanted somebody who, like, my brother is gay, so I wanted somebody who could deal with that and not let that affect our relationship, you know, because I've had that too. So I did that, and I wrote everything down.
Nice. You wrote everything down. Yeah. You see that? Go ahead. I'm sorry. It's all
right. So I wrote everything down. And then right before I met my husband, I was dating this guy, and I was like, I also wanted a guy who didn't have children. So at this point, I'm in my like mid-30s, and everybody was telling me, you're not gonna find this guy because, you know, guys have kids.
It doesn't exist.
Right. You're just gonna have to suck it up.
Right.
So at first I was like, no, I don't think that's possible. You know, I think it's possible, but everybody's like, no, you're not gonna find this guy. All right, fine. So right before I met my husband, I was dating this guy who was divorced with 2 children, and things were going cool. And he ended up taking a job like out of upstate New York. So I'm downstate New York, he's upstate New York. And he's like, well, you know, we're gonna try to make this work. I was like, it's not gonna work. So we did that for like a month. And then like about in August, I'm like, you know what, God, one morning I'm getting ready to go to work and I'm making my coffee. And I'm like, God, I'm not happy in this. So either give me the strength to leave him or let him leave me. I'm not into this anymore. Because we were going out for like maybe 6 months or so. So that was like on a Thursday. Then I go to work. Then what happened? Oh, first Saturdays at Brooklyn Museum happened. And a group.
I used to go to them too. Felicia's like,
yeah. Those are lit.
So, a group that I wanted to listen to was playing. So I told my girlfriend, I was like, yo, you know what? Let's go. Let's go hang out. Let's go have fun. We go listen to the group. We go to the museum. We enjoy ourselves. And now we're leaving the museum. And we're leaving. And then my husband is back there. And he's like, oh, you look nice in that dress. So I'm not even thinking about no man at this point. Because I'm just like, I came to enjoy myself. I'm not thinking about guys or anything. And then I turned around. I'm like, okay, thanks. And then I kept on walking. He's like, wait, where are you guys going? And I'm like, well, we're going to go get something to eat. He's like, oh, there's a Jamaican spot across the street. So I spoke to my girlfriend. She was like, yeah, sure, let's go. So we go. We weren't too thrilled about that place. And then we start walking around Brooklyn to find someplace else. And the whole time, so I'm like kind of paying attention to how he's interacting with the both of us, because he made sure to include her in the conversation. You know, we were chatting. And we couldn't get into anywhere because she forgot her ID. And nobody would let us in. No matter what, even though we don't look 21, they wouldn't let us in. So he's like, there's a place downtown, let's go downtown. We go downtown. Mind you, he's in my car now. And I know now that I say this, everybody's like, what?
You let him into your car.
I know, but
you just met him? He was by himself at the museum?
He was by himself.
That sounds so sus to me. Sorry.
You know what he says? He says that he called his boys to try to come down and nobody wanted to come. So he was like, I just want to go and I want to go enjoy myself. So he went by himself.
Yeah, that sounds sus.
When he said his side of the story,
I'm kidding.
When he gives his side of the story, he says that it's like somebody pushed him to go talk to me.
Okay.
By himself. So we get into my car, and we go downtown Brooklyn. So we go to the, what's the restaurant? It was a Mexican restaurant. I can't even remember the name. So we go to the restaurant. We're hanging out. The 3 of us are hanging out. He's still chatting with the both of us. And me and him are sitting next to each other. And you could even see the chemistry. Even my girlfriend was like, yo, you guys look like y'all been together for like 20 years.
Wow.
Off of the chemistry as we're sitting there. So we're chatting and enjoying ourselves. Then afterwards, night is over. I drop him to the subway. I gave him a kiss on the cheek, and that was it.
Well, damn, you did all that too?
Listen, when the vibe is right.
So do you often look back at the specific thing that you wrote, if you still have access to it, and see just how much it was that you communicated this to the universe, and the universe in fact responded by giving you this particular person? Do you feel like that's the exact answer based off of everything that you communicated to God, to the universe?
Yeah, because I go back and I looked at that list. Basically, he touched everything on the list.
Wow.
First guy that I was dealing with, I never heard from him again. So I took that as a sign of the universe saying, well, you asked for him to be out your life, so I made it possible. So I contacted him that Friday, and then I never contacted him again. I looked at the list. The list, like, he touches everything on it.
Everything.
Wow.
And then we just started talking from that point. And then here we are.
That's great, Michele. Thank you so much for sharing.
That's beautiful.
I love that
wow.
story. Because I really, you know, that story resonates with so much that has happened in my life. But before I go into something else, I'd like to ask our wonderful participants who have chosen to not be visible if they want to say something, because I really do not want you to feel left out at all. So can I get anybody to either chime in with a personal experience or to ask a question, anything that you feel comfortable with? Don't all pick it. Okay, yes, go right ahead.
Well, for me, I'm actually enjoying the inspirational stories. It's definitely important as women that we can share things that have actually overcome in our life to make us where we are and better. So I'm just listening in and I'm just enjoying it.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you feel included. So if you at any point have any questions or anything that you want to just chime in, please. Okay, Liz?
So, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a question. When you're manifesting, how do you get the negative thoughts out? Like, what's your process for getting the negative thoughts out? Like,
I can actually answer that for you, because I'm gonna let the other two ladies do it, but the one thing that I could say, and that's what I wanted to talk about when Michele said, you know, I've been teetering, right? Teetering. I've been teetering. So that's the whole thing with manifestation. You choose and that's it. Like, you choose and that's it. There really is no counter, because that's the resistance, and the resistance comes from your subconscious. Your subconscious offers up everything possible to deter you. It's not that your subconscious wants to do that, but it's the programming, right? Which is why I said a lot of Black people aren't taught their power, because the programming is for you to feel disempowered. It's for you to feel like as if you have no choice and abundance can't be yours. Now, I want you to understand, manifesting isn't the easiest thing in the world, because your subconscious programming is ingrained. And however old you are, that's how much ingrained it is. You know what I mean? Like, if you're 30 plus, you're deprogramming 30 plus years of, no, that can't happen. Well, why would it happen to me? Whatever. So really, it's just you reaching a place where you say, I'm worthy, and that's it. That's all you really need to say within you. I'm worthy, and that's it. It doesn't need to be anything else. Oh, but how, but why? No, I'm worthy, and that's it. And with every thought, the way to balance them out is by breathing. That's why meditating is so important. Teaching yourself to follow your breath, because your thoughts will never stop. Your mind doesn't stop. And the deprogramming isn't introducing a new programming by programming your mind. It's accepting the one that exists with love, so that whatever else can now have a home within you. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll let Michele add on to what she wants to.
Well, for me, I have to let the thoughts, I just have to sit in the thoughts, because if I don't, then it's always going to be there.
Yes.
So sometimes I have to let myself sit in the thoughts and be like I was the other day, be mad, sad, whatever it is, and then pep talk myself and be like, no, girl, no, we're not going to do this. And it's funny, because I'm actually reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and he speaks about that. He speaks about, you have to kind of have a conversation with yourself, like, no, we're not going to do this. The big self wants to kind of overtake the little self. The little self is supposed to be your subconscious. So the little self, the big self is trying to take over, which is your conscious mind, and tell you like, well, you know, maybe you shouldn't do it like that, or maybe, you know, you're not worthy of that, or maybe that's too big of a dream. So like,
Right.
no, you gotta be like, nah, we were, like she said, we worthy. We
Yes.
got this.
Yes.
And it's gonna, and sometimes I feel like music is a powerful tool. You know, like you can just put on some music. Like I have a manifestation playlist that I play, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna get me out of my mood. This is gonna get me out of my funk, and we're just gonna play this, and we're just going to rock with this. And then you don't need to. Sometimes you don't need to, like, go so far off. Like for example, I'm trying to manifest pregnancy. For me to just jump into saying I'm gonna get pregnant tomorrow, it might be too far of a jump.
Right.
It might just be like, you know what? I'm gonna be healthier today.
Yes.
You know, like maybe that little jump sometimes is what we need to do, as opposed to be like, well, I'm gonna get pregnant tomorrow. It's like, well, nah, it's not gonna happen.
It's taking it bit by bit.
Right.
So to answer your question, Erica, and I hope this kind of explores it a little bit more for you. It isn't like manifestation. It could be discouraging because, like I said, your subconscious mind, that's the job all these years was to kind of absorb your surroundings, but with that came a lot of absorption of fear that does not belong to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the fear is there, you hear the thoughts and you think they're yours, but it doesn't belong to you. Right. It's just things that you absorbed along the way. We all did. Right. We all go through it. Some of us are a little bit more sensitive to that though, based off of our traumas, you know? So it's really just two things for you to stay stuck with your manifestation or to see it through. It's to decide that you're worthy, period. Like there's no, but right. I'm worthy, period. You know what I mean? Like every time the negative thoughts come in, I'm worthy, period. Okay, yes, thank you, period. You can do that. Or you can just, like Michele said, there's days where sometimes I'm not this, you know, yeah, whatever, it's gonna happen. I'm more of the, okay, thoughts come, let me sit with you. What's up? What do you have to say to me? You know, and I let them do whatever they have to do and just stay stuck with my breathing. Because my breathing is my anchor. Because I know as long as I'm breathing, I'm not getting caught up in whatever hype there is, you know, trying to, you know, feed me the death of my dreams, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I hope that answers your question. You want to chime in?
Thank you for all the feedback. It was helpful. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you for asking.
And Erica, just have patience that it will happen.
Yeah, that's just a very
just have patience.
Yeah, patience is
that's one thing I've learned with manifesting and just speaking life into my life is having patience.
Speaking life into my life. I love that.
Yeah, I think that's the piece I struggle with, the patience, but I'm working on it.
it girl. I thought I was a genie and I was like, manifest now. Like I was like, So that's why I was like, manifest.
Yeah, manifest. I spent 2 years with that, literally. I used to be so pissed because I'm like, it's not happening. I said it.
Patience. And the key to that is when you have patience and you manifest life into your life, when it comes, you have to A, acknowledge it and B, accept it openly and not be afraid of accepting what you manifested. That's a big deal.
Thank you for that, Felicia.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
To build on what Felicia just said, very important. Patience is key because we often think that, just like Michele said, you know, I can't say, well, I'm going to get pregnant tomorrow. It happens when it's supposed to happen. That doesn't mean you sit back and just, it's sort of like looking for a job. You know what type of job you want. You know what type of job you're looking for. You don't sit back and say, well, you know, my job, my dream job is going to come. You're going to work at it, but don't beat yourself up if you're going to multiple interviews, you're doing your due diligence and you're not getting the job that you want. So the same goes with everything else in your life. I feel that patience is key because it doesn't always happen when you expect it to happen. And when it does happen, do not shut the door, embrace it and in a smart way. there are certain things you'll have to embrace with your heart, and there are things you have to embrace with your mind. So sometimes your heart can get you in trouble, but sometimes you have to go with the heart. And there are times where you have to follow your mind. So patience, yes, I agree with that 100%.
Thank you for sharing. I think we had one more person, Ray. Did you want to chime in with something?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay. Who am I speaking to, Ray or
You're right on time.
Dominique, it's Nadine.
I know. It's because I know. It's because I was speaking to another one of our participants. I didn't realize that you had taken yourself off of mute. Hi, Nadine.
Hi. I kind of, get the gist of what you're talking about now, and I wanted to add something about patience.
Yes, please.
Patience is so crucial because it's almost built into this whole manifestation process, because you need that prep time. If you get what you want before you're ready for it.
Ooh, yes, preach, girl. Yes.
This happened to me.
Yes.
Where I'm like, yo, I want this, and then I get it, and I'm not ready for it, and it's like it's a mess.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that the patience is built in. It's so crucial.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Nadine. That was
bars.
That was so spot on to what all of this is. It's the prep. The waiting is the prep, but we don't realize that because we want what we want now. And God isn't saying no, he's just saying later, I got you, work with me, or let me work with you so I could build you up and set you up. So thank you for sharing that so much, Nadine. I really appreciate it.
Hey, this is Ray. How y'all doing?
Hi, Ray.
Hey.
For joining.
Thank you for having me. Y'all are so beautiful.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to apologize for being super duper late.
Oh, no.
You're right on time, girl. You're right on time.
You're right on time.
And woo-wee. And also, I'm not on camera because that mask me is on 10 right now, you understand. And I ain't want to embarrass myself on this Zoom call. But I just wanted to chime in real quick. I thought it was so super important what Michele was talking about listening to those negative thoughts. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge it. You have to kind of sit with it, because a lot of it is in my experience, at least, it's almost like a safety trigger. It's those negative thoughts, in my experience, come up. It's almost overprotective. Like, I want you to not do this because I'm protecting you from potential failure or potential heartbreak or potential destruction of something you care about. And so I'm projecting all of these negative possibilities so that you can take adequate precaution.
Yes.
And a lot of the times, though, if you sit with it, you can debunk it. If you can acknowledge it, like this is the vision I have for my life. This is what I'm trying to manifest. This is what I'm trying to attract in my life right now. All these negative thoughts are possibilities, but it's based on it's based on lies. It's based on things that aren't exactly true. And so for instance, if I said, I wanted to, and this is me coming up with an example on the spot, and I may not be spot on, but if I wanted to go back to school and I said, you know what, I want X, Y, and Z degree for myself. That's what the vision I see for myself is. A negative thought that might come up would be, well, how will I ever even get into school? How will someone even let me in the door?
Right.
And yes, that's a possibility, but it's not based on anything. It's based on a lie that I haven't tried. I don't know
Right.
that someone is going to reject me from their school. I don't have anything to base that reality on. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times if you acknowledge it, like, okay, I'm scared. That's what this negative thought is about. I'm scared of failing in front of people. That's what this negative thought is about. Let me reflect so I can debunk it and move forward in what I'm trying to manifest.
Right.
And I just thought that was so key, that what Michele said, sometimes you have to acknowledge it to move past it.
Right. I love that you said that, because those thoughts just tend to not go anywhere, you know, and what they'll do is they just hound you until you sit with them and love them, or take that firm position, which is, nope, this is happening, period. But I love that you said that it's protection. I read a book that said that okay, I read a book that said that your subconscious mind is just your inner child protecting you. It's that inner child that's kind of like Ray said, oh, I want to do this, but what if they laugh at me? Oh, what if they don't accept me? What if they don't understand my vision? Or what if, you know, this never happens for me? And so that your inner child is just still needing you to reassure it. That's really all it is. It's just the reassurance, meaning that when you sit with your thoughts, you know, because a lot of us tend to suppress things and, you know, just like, oh, I'm not gonna think about that now. But all you're doing is just creating this inner war. But if you sit with whatever is brewing inside of you, you give your inner child that safe space to know that it's okay for the inner child to feel that way, and that you'll listen and also still rise to the occasion and face those fears. So thank you, Ray, for saying that. Before I move on to our final topic, which I'm nervous about presenting, I wanted to give you guys.
Why are you so nervous?
I don't know, man. That tantric sex, man, is just, I don't know.
Why are you so nervous?
I don't know. It's like, I'm talking about sex and I don't know. It's just, like, all
right, Queen Dom.
I usually save that for probably more liquor. But I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to say anything else before I go into that. Anything else? No? Okay.
Go ahead.
So, Tantra. What is Tantra? Tantra, I think I have some stuff too. I think I have some little things that I collected. Hold on a second. On the topic. Okay, so you guys can see that. So Tantra pretty much is just the art of involving mantras, meditation, yoga, and ritual. So I'm gonna get back to that, but that's a very important part, because I know a lot of people probably think that the Tantra part is something else, but it's just involving the ritual and the meditation. I'm pretty sure I won't be able to go through every single slide that I have, or it's giving me a little bit of a hard time. Yeah, some of them are not popping up. So I'll stop sharing for now and just kind of explore what this means. So this does not only apply to those who are engaging in love interactions with another individual. Tantra can be lovemaking with yourself. Before I say why before I go into what Tantra is, I want to explore what Tantra does. Many people don't realize that the art of orgasm and just that communication alone is a direct communication with source energy. Source energy being God, the universe. God gave us sex. I know that seems like, oh my God, God doesn't want us having sex, but he does. He actually gave us sex because God gave us pleasure, and we are wrapped up in this mindset of we're not supposed to experience pleasure, and it's only supposed to be pain, and life is supposed to be this hard life. But in fact, there are people who are living blissfully day to day, not to say that they're in some sort of la la land and, you know, they're not, like, they're detached from reality, but there are people who literally do not let anything into their life that doesn't resonate with joy and pleasure. So that being said, so God gave us orgasms to communicate the same way God gave us music and God gave us exercising. Every time you do these things, they release hormones such as endorphins, which is a direct contact with source energy. Because in those moments, that's when you are able to believe that your dreams are able to come true, because it's minus any type of resistance, any type of negative thought that could come in. And that is the prime time for you to try to manifest. So what I'm trying to say is have more orgasms, because if you're wanting to manifest things in your life, it's when you are at the peak of that orgasm that you have to consciously communicate your needs and your desires to the universe. And that will in fact be one of the many steps that you take to manifesting these things that you want in your life. The whole basis though of Tantra is for it to be very meditative and ritualistic. So what that means is you're not just rushing through it. There has to be a process, and that's what a lot of us don't do. And it's not foreplay. It is truly you becoming fully connected with yourself, or you becoming one with the person that you're choosing to engage with. How do you do that? Is through touching and through breathing. It's through connecting. It's through communicating your needs. It's you going slowly. So you can start off with breathing with your partner, or just you breathing alone. You touching your partner. And when I say touching, it doesn't have to be a sexual way of touching. You could just place your hand on your partner's heart. If there is no partner involved, like I said, you can still do this with just you making love to yourself. And I know a lot of people have trouble with that because you know, it just feels like it's not supposed to be that way. Like it's not an organic experience, but it couldn't be further from the truth. You actually, the same, you see what Ray said? No, Nadine said, you know, you're being prepared. Sometimes you making love to yourself is you learning how to introduce yourself to that partner, to let that partner know exactly what it is that you want. Stop having sex just to have sex is another thing that I'm trying to say, because a lot of people really think that it just needs to be like, oh yeah, you know, I hooked up and I had an orgasm and that's it. Literally, you having that experience is a birthright, and it is a spiritual activation within you to heal and to manifest. So if you harness that, like honestly, I'm telling you, I don't want to speak too much personally because I know my husband will be pissed, but my orgasms have changed from when it was just kind of like lightweight to really just like, oh my God, what the fuck was that? And it's because of me. It really is, because what I'm doing is I am consciously engaging. So what I can honestly tell you is that I could do that for myself alone without there being anybody involved, because I am consciously choosing to feel everything, as opposed to before it was kind of like, okay, you're going through the motions. That's why I said not foreplay, because foreplay, you're going through the motions and you know the end result is going to be that you eventually do have that physical, you know, connection with the person. But yes, I employ you to use Tantra if you are in fact trying to manifest more abundance into your life. You know, life is made to be enjoyed, and the fuller your life is with more things that you can enjoy, the better it is. It doesn't only have to be one solitary thing. Like, you know, you might be like, oh, I like to paint, so you only paint. You don't have to only paint. And you're painting, you can in fact paint in a conscious way that brings it to a next level. You know, take yourself off of autopilot, you know, is what I'm trying to say. Because it's happening now. Like, your life is meant to be lived right now, not when A or B happens, not when you manifest whatever. I feel like if we found a way to be more in the moment and love everything that's happening right now, what we do want to manifest would manifest a lot quicker because we would be paying less attention to it.
So with this method, have you manifested?
What'd you say?
With this method, have you manifested whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, or?
Yeah, I manifested this. Like, this is one of my dreams.
Okay.
Honestly, and this is not me being facetious. This is something that I've really been working towards. I love doing these types of things. I love sharing this type of information because I feel like everybody deserves to know what is rightfully theirs. So yes, during one of my, magical orgasms, I probably did think about this, and I was like, yeah, this is what's gonna happen. And it's easy for me because I'm so consciously aware of my state of being. I'm not just going through the motions anymore. I'm so aware that in that moment of climaxing, I can affirm something because I'm so conscious. You know what I mean? It's not just this like going through the motions anymore. It's everything is so alive in that moment for me that when that moment does come, I got a whole list for God. Like, oh yeah, by the way, yes.
So do you say it out loud, or you are thinking? Now look, I'm taking notes.
Honestly,
I'm taking notes.
Honestly, I probably would do it out loud. I'm not in any way uncomfortable to do it out loud because I think, my husband knows that I'm a whole ass weirdo and I believe in these things. You know what I mean? So I have
That's what came to my head. He's like, what? What? Like, that's why I started laughing because I'm like, I could picture you saying X, Y, and Z. He's like, wait, what, honey? X,
what? Nah.
Okay, manifest.
Honestly, like, if the more transparent you are with whoever it is that you're around, the less they're put off by the things that you do. So,
true.
I'm more and more becoming more connected with my soul and with my spirit. So I do, in fact, see myself probably saying it out loud, but I haven't done so yet. What I do is, though, I go into it with a ritual in mind, knowing that I'm going to see it through because I want those things to manifest. So, I honestly, again, with myself alone, I do the same thing. Like if it's just me, on me time, I'm going to reach that and in fact, in that I will state whatever I need. And I know the universe is going to give it to me because that's how you communicate to God, when you are void of any resistance. Like, you're communicating it at a point where it's yours. Why wouldn't it be? Because everything feels so good, right? I know, Michele, you're familiar with Abraham Hicks. Yeah. Abraham Hicks also explains that. I don't know if anybody else has ever heard of Abraham Hicks. It's Esther Hicks, whatever. She has like, these spirits that like, take over her body and tells her to give out like, testimonies and stuff. But what she also advocates is for you to just keep yourself in alignment. And all alignment really is just you enjoying your life. And I think sometimes, we don't realize that we are our biggest problem with the lack of the enjoyment. We just constantly, either I'm guilty of it. I'm always looking for something to be wrong, always. It's like this bad programming, you know what I mean, that I have to just love on until it's no longer a part of me. Like I'm always looking over my shoulder. I always think something bad is going to happen. So if you're like that, like how Michele said, an overthinker, you'll overthink the ish out of whatever it is that you would like and not even give yourself the chance to make it be. So you are in fact your resistance, and only you, because nobody has the right to resist your dream. So you're the only person who is your obstruction. I think once you're able to get around that, then, but that's the hard part. I'm saying it like as if it's like a breeze, but I think once anybody gets over that hump, the world can be yours. And I don't want to make it sound like it's magical, because it's not, but it in fact can be. There's way too many people who have had their testimonies of that nature, and I'm a believer. So that wraps up my tantra part, and I actually think that wraps up the Sistar Circle.
Look, I'm gonna be contacting contacting you so you could give me the whole rundown. Okay.
Girl, call me. I got you.
See, that's his discipline. I'm like,
I have this down like it's mathematics. I literally have been studying this, and I've been seeing so many things. I have a website. I have an Instagram page that I'm gonna send to you too, because she's like, her page is Tantric Alchemy.
Okay.
yeah, I need to get that.
Yeah.
Give me some of that.
She's the one who honestly has given me a lot of my tutelage as far as that's concerned. So I'm an advocate. Trust me.
Share that, please. Thank you.
So, guys, as I wrap up, I open up the floor if you guys wanted to share anything with our participants. Anything you want to say, Michele or Felicia? Anything?
Oh, I thought it was the floor for everybody. Okay.
No.
Go ahead, Michele.
I want to say thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having this space. I think we need this as women of color. We need this safe space for us to talk, to learn, to share our stories, and, you know, for nobody to be ashamed. So I thank you for having me and having this.
Thank you.
Yeah, same thing. I greatly appreciate it. It brings me a lot of joy to be in a space with a bunch of women, strong women at that. And yeah, I feel like this is like our personal therapy, because Dom knows I've done therapy before. I feel like all Black people need therapy because we go through so much, and I feel like this is our little slice of therapy heaven. So I appreciate you, Dom, for this, and thank you everybody for joining. I appreciate all you lovely ladies. So thank you.
Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Michele. Did you want to add something? Emmy?
Yes, I wanted to thank you for this session. I have heard Felicia speak before, and her energy is out of this world. And Michele, it was wonderful meeting you. And I definitely think, Dominique, we should do this again very soon. We should definitely delve into the previous conversation a little more, the first conversation, and then also maybe have a separate session for the Tantra, because I do have a lot to share, but this will be another session.
Okay, good.
I think it feels like a safe space for us to be able to communicate. And although we all don't know each other, it just feels okay to discuss these things. So I'm looking forward to
honey.
Dominique.
Thank you so much. Anybody else want to join and say something?
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have experienced this. I'm looking forward to, if you have any, future events coming up, I will be on time.
You were right on time. Trust me. You were right on time. Close the door, Momo. You were right on time. Trust me. You didn't miss too much. I am so thankful. Hold on a second. I think I lost Felicia real quick. Let me just let her back in so I could thank her. I'm so thankful to Ray, Emmy, Nadine, Michele, Felicia, and Erica. It was an honor that you guys took your time and spent some time with me. This is probably gonna make me cry because I'm such a puss, but like, I am so thankful. My words can't really express it, but I'm very thankful, and I'm humbled that you trusted in my Sistar Circle and participated. And it is in fact a safe space. And when you are, within these walls, just know that you're in good hands, and you're appreciated. So I'm sending love your way, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm gonna cry, so let me just like.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.